Welcome to my video series, The Heroine's Journey. I'm Susanna Liller, and it's time to find your happiness. So the journey takes us on the journey of life. It's the same thing. And you will probably recall that life has its hard parts. Life is not always easy. And same on the journey. We will answer a call and cross the threshold and be thrilled that we're finding our way, and then something whams us. And so, yeah, it's not a walk in the park by any means. There are definitely hard parts to the journey. And so in this video and in the next three, we're going to talk about the hard parts and acknowledge them, that it's part of it. But here's the thing about a heroine on the journey is the heroine remembers she always has a choice. And the choice is how you're going to look at the experience, how you're going to view it, with what perspective. A calamity, this is awful, I'm never going to recover, or maybe this is an opportunity, maybe I'll learn something from it. And a heroine will always know that it's these difficult times that helps her grow. So, wow, it's a growth opportunity. I can't see it now, maybe, but it will be when I look back. So it's how will you choose to see the inevitable hard parts of the journey. I was just talking with a heroine who had a really hard start to her journey, an Indigenous woman who, and we've been reading about this a lot lately, it's come more and more into our awareness, but she grew up in a poor area in Maine, very poor, in a house with no heat, no running water, 12 of them living in 2 rooms. And in an area where Indigenous people were looked down upon, called those people. They didn't even get mail delivered to them. And she was brought to a Catholic school where she had her hair cut, and she was told she couldn't speak her native language. And if she did, she would be punished. And so she was really being made over into some image of how an Indigenous child should look and should be and should speak. She was being molded into somebody else's image. And so she told me, I just kept my head down. I didn't want to get in trouble. That's how she spent, she told me, the first, well, really through high school, until a teacher, an English teacher, took an interest and began to encourage her. And she would go and she would do her homework. She'd read a lot. Her father was illiterate. She was surprised to find out. And slowly she began to think, well, maybe I can do more. She went to guidance. Guidance counselor said, you don't want to go to college. You're never going to get into college. She wasn't at all inspired in that regard by him. But then she happened to have some good coincidences, good experiences, that she met the right person and they suggested this, and ended up she got a scholarship to a 2-year college. And when she was done, she got a job at the tribe where she had been part of her tribe, her Indigenous tribe, and worked hard, was a good worker and smart, and got ahead and pretty soon found herself applying to be elected, applying to be chief up for election of the tribe, and got it. And her words to me were, I wasn't looking to be chief, and I wasn't, I mean, that had never been part of my dream. And she said, I wasn't looking to have a claim as the first woman chief of this tribe, though she was. She said, I just knew I could make a difference. Because of my experience, I had seen what I could do to make things better. And that's what I wanted to do. And so she did. And she brought a lot of things to her role that hadn't been done before. She was magnificent. Looking back, all that hardship that she had at the beginning was really something that helped her be an even better human, an even more understanding, wise person as she took on additional roles. This is what life, the journey, does to us, particularly when we answer a call that we feel comes from within. So when you look back in your life to times that have been hard, I bet that you can find that you had gifts as a result. And I know I can do that. I can look back at the divorce that I went through, and you look at then how you changed as a result. And if I went back to that person over 30 years ago who was contemplating and so afraid of getting a divorce, I am so different and so much wiser now than I was back then. And I'm so grateful that I was able to see and go through that hard time. And also leaving my company that I was in for 12 years and going out on my own, that was hard. Writing my book, having to believe in myself that I could actually do it, that was hard. So maybe you're in a hard part of the journey right now. Maybe you're saying, yeah, I've been here for a while. And so if you could just remember that, or think about that there might be gifts coming up as a result of you being in this place that maybe you'll only see when you get past it. But still, they're hard. So how do we cope when we get in these places? Well, I would, of course, tell you it helps to know the journey, to know the milestones, to know that you will meet up with hard times. And so on the map, and we're going to talk about these in other videos, you encounter the threshold guardians who are always crabbing their negative talk to you. And you'll know that you'll have to eventually meet a dragon. And we'll talk about what that means and go into the dark and into an abyss and uncover things that maybe you've kept hidden inside of you. Part of the journey, part of the courage you'll need. And then there's something called an emotional first aid kit, which we'll talk about in an upcoming video. But that's just about collecting all the good things that have happened to you and putting them in one place so that on a piece of paper or on a list or in a special box that you can go to and remember, oh yeah, okay, things are better than I thought. I haven't always been in this horrible place. And then there's doing a circle, which I've talked to you about before, and drawing a circle, and on the outside you put the things you don't want to focus on, and on the inside what you do want to focus on. Well, the outside, that would be all those negative thoughts. This is horrible. This will never end. I'm never going to get out of this. And in the inside, there is light at the end of the tunnel. This will end. Maybe I'll learn something great from this. Maybe this will put me in a great new position, which oftentimes it does. Affirmations help. Seeing a therapist, helping a therapist lead you through a difficult time. All these are options for you, and there are more that can get you through. There is another thing that I created the Heroine's Journey community for, so that you can have a place to share stories. So if you share your story, you're helping somebody else, but you're also helping your own healing. And it will help you know that you're not alone, that others have gone through this before. So yes, definitely, there will be hard places to travel on the Heroine's Journey, but they're all there, I would like to think, for a purpose, to really make you stronger, more courageous, more confident, that you can get through this. And you'll look back and sometimes you'll say, thank God that happened. Because of that happening, this happening. Past traumas are tough, but there's usually some kind of lesson in them for us. And if we learn what it is, then we can help others and we can achieve more because of what we learned. So heroines, thank you for being with me for this video. I appreciate your company as we journey through the journey together. And I hope you'll join me for my next video.